Setting aside reason and logic. The question is repugnant to reason, as Heidegger wrote in An Introduction to Metaphysics, because we reach logical absurdity whichever way we go in attempting to answer it. If we say, on the one hand, that there is no answer to the question of why there is being, if being just is for no reason, then that makes being absurd. Something that cannot be explained is an absurdity to reason. But if, on the other hand, we say that being is for a reason, then what could that reason be? We would have to say that that reason, whatever it is outside of being. But outside of being is nothing, which means that we would have to try to explain being from nothingness, which is also absurd. So either way we go in trying to answer the question, we are deeply into absurdity. Logic, at this point, wants to forbid the question. Logic wants to say that the absurdity shows that the question is ill-formed and so should be set aside. Logic wants instead to make the existence of reality its axiom, and to proceed from there with discovering the identities of the various existents. On the other hand, switching back to a Heideggerian perspective, the questions spawned by the question strike very deep feelings in Dasein. What about the nothingness that being would have come from? Could being not have been? Could being return once again to the nothing? Such questions are compellingly awesome, and yet at the same time they fill Dasein with a sense of dis-ease and anxiety. So here Dasein has a conflict. Logic and reason say that the question is contradictory and so should be set aside. But Dasein's feelings urge Dasein to explore the question in a non-verbal, emotional way. So which does Dasein choose? Contradiction and feeling, or logic and reason? Fortunately, as we have learned from Hegel, Schopenhauer, Kierkegaard, and Nietzsche, this contradiction and conflict is yet another sign that logic and reason are impotent. As we should all know by now, we should expect to find conflict and contradiction at the heart of things. Contradiction is the sign that we are on to something important. So, mere logic, Heidegger concluded, quote, an invention of school teachers, not of philosophers, unquote, cannot and should not get in the way of probing the ultimate mystery that is being. We must reject entirely the assumption, quote, that in this inquiry, logic is the highest court of appeal, that reason is the means and thinking the way to an original comprehension of nothing and its possible revelation, unquote. Again, quote, if this contradiction breaks the sovereignty of reason in the field of inquiry into nothing and being, then the fate of the rule of logic is also decided. The very idea of logic disintegrates in the vortex of more original questioning, unquote. And again, in case we have missed the point, quote, authentic speaking about nothing always remains extraordinary. It cannot be vulgarized. It dissolves if it is placed in the cheap acid of merely logical intelligence, unquote. Deep feeling about nothing trumps logic any day.